Welcome to the 1000 GM Player Profiles. I'm here with Akira Nakada. Welcome to the show. How do you feel today, Aki?
I feel great. I feel great. I'm happy to be here.
All right.
Happy to
Are you
be
awake? We're
on
doing
the.
this one early in the morning.
Yeah, I I had to take a morning shower, but I'm up. I'm up.
All right, great. So let's start with some questions from our sponsor, 1000 GM, and jump right in to the mission of 1000 GM to produce thousands of Grandmasters in the United States and to run, hundreds, if not thousands, of norm tournaments. Um, what do you see that mission as, and how do you think that will impact the chess scene?
Um, well, I mean, these tournaments are pretty unique in that they're free for the players to
Mm,
play in, and I think that's really invaluable because, I mean, norm tournaments usually cost like around $800 entry fee,
yeah,
which is just an insane amount of money. And when you add on like the hotel costs, the travel cost, it's like it's a whole ordeal every time you go out there to play. And these tournaments are really important for taking players to the next level. Like you need to play good competition to get to that level. You need to play IMs and GMs to
right.
become an IM or GM. And the fact that these are free is just supporting like the growth of chess here.
Have you ever heard of a free norm tournament before?
No, this is the first time. So when I heard about it, I was like, I was texting everyone I could in my contacts to try and get in. But
That's great.
yeah,
That's great. Okay, so then how many norm tournaments have you gone to?
I've gone to a lot. Uh, Probably around five.
Okay, and
Five,
with
yeah.
that, over those five tournaments, can you estimate how much you or your family has spent? Is it in the thousands, tens of thousands?
Um, yeah, it's probably close to. I'm trying to think because some of them have been in New York, so we don't have
Okay,
to pay for flight and hotel and all that.
right.
But it's for sure in the thousands, maybe close to 10,000.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah,
that's pretty
that's
incredible. You are
yeah,
in
it's fun
one of the
money.
biggest chess cities in the United States, so that does help a lot.
Yeah,
But you still would have to pay the $800 entry fee, right?
for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean even that adds up. Um,
Yeah.
so when you do travel, though, where do you usually stay? At a hotel close to the venue, or with friends and family?
Um, yeah, I'll stay at a hotel close to the venue, usually like yeah, just like a garden inn or something.
Okay,
Um,
and how old are you? You're staying with your parents?
I'm 18,
Okay.
so like I stay by myself, but you sometimes have problems like checking into hotels.
So, but what you traveled to tournaments with your parents before, though, right?
Yeah, I used to,
Yeah.
yeah, all
Okay.
the time.
And now that you're 18, do you prefer to have your own room, or do you want to have a roommate to
Uh,
share the experience with?
I kind of like having my own room,
All right.
but having a roommate is probably financially more sustainable.
Yeah. And which tournament are you traveling to? Are you traveling to St. Louis or to Los Angeles?
I'm going to the Los Angeles.
Okay, so you're going to the Los Angeles event. Are you staying with a friend there?
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Want to shout
staying
him
with
out?
my friend, and also my coach, Alex Ostrovsky.
Oh, okay, great. Okay,
Yeah,
shout out
he's
to
he's playing the
Alex.
tournament. Yeah,
Yeah, great, great, and that's fantastic. So you're staying with Alex.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, all right, and I heard that you got a nice college scholarship. That's actually kind of important to 1000 GM as well. Can
yeah,
you
yeah.
can you tell us what scholarship you've received?
Yeah. So I received the chess scholar award.
Great.
Um, yeah, and it's basically for like people who are doing like a combination of academics and um high level chess,
Great.
and it's really helped fund my uh like I've played a lot of Normans. I hadn't played any before this year.
Right.
Um, but I've played like I said five. at least this year, and so it's really helped fund that, and it's helped fund my growth as a chess player.
Can you
So,
shout out the organization that awarded you this the scholarship?
yeah, I think it's just from like U.S. Chess.
Okay, so U.S. Chess. Okay, thanks to U.S.
Yeah.
Chess for that. How much is that scholarship, if you don't mind saying?
3,000.
All right, that's
Yeah.
sufficient. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a significant amount. So that's great. And will more scholarships be important to you in the future?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Playing chess is not a cheap thing.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, so
And it doesn't make a lot of money either. So.
right. I mean, I've spoken to grandmasters that are scraping by. So let's
Yeah.
let's talk about that real quick. Let's visit that hard question that I've been calling the hard question, and
Hmm.
it's: is there systemic discrimination in chess toward financially privileged players? Meaning, do they have better access to titles and norm tournaments that people with lower incomes don't?
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, norm events like we talked about are super expensive. The travel fees and costs are really expensive. A lot of times you'll see like younger players going to Europe. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and some people could say arguably it's like a little easier there to get those norms, and so
Okay, that's a
like
hot take.
that's not a inexpensive trip there.
Right.
um but yeah, I mean, the reality is like chess requires travel. It requires yeah, I mean, it requires you to have a certain amount of money to be able to have like the best chance of getting norms.
Right. Okay, I appreciate that insight. Um, okay, Aki, let's move on to your life because you
Sure.
know, well, how many people know how you started playing chess? Do many people know the
um
story?
Not really.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
So, when did you start playing, and what got you into it?
Well, I started playing when I was 7,
Okay, great.
and it was just like I went to this public school in the city, and they always have like after school programs. So my parents wanted me to put me in one.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
you live in New York City.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What neighborhood?
I live in Union Square.
Union Square. Okay. And
Yeah.
for people outside of New York City, what's a big landmark that they can kind of?
Uh, Empire State Building.
Okay, yeah. So you're right in Manhattan. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
so that's incredible. And so your school had an after school program.
yeah. So we had an after school program, and it was either art or chess for me, really. And I'm not the best artist,
That's
so
great. That's great.
it was chess by default, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
And then, what about it, made you just really begin to enjoy the game?
yeah, well, I think I had a really good uh, mentor
Oh,
or
great.
teacher.
Let's shout
Yeah,
let's shout out that person. What's
yeah.
their
So
name?
my first coach, uh, Oscar Santana.
All right,
Hope you're
Oscar
watching.
Santana, if you're watching,
Yeah.
great job.
Uh, yeah. No, he. I remember he just made chess like really fun. Yeah, I don't know. He used to give us like chocolates when we solved the puzzles. It was just it was a fun time. We played like Lego chess and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I
Um,
got root beer when I won my tournaments in junior high,
nice.
so that's what kept me going. Nice. So you enjoyed like the thrill of winning and getting those chocolates and prizes.
Yeah, that was my motivator early
All
on.
right. All right. And then how did you discover tournaments?
So I went to they have these local tournaments they hold at public schools. Um, and I played in like an unrated section.
Okay, great.
Um, yeah, and actually I think my first game I let my opponent have like 5 takebacks, but I really enjoyed the tournament. So
Your opponent's like, "Can I have that move back?" And you're like,
yeah,
"Okay."
I think he hung his queen like a couple of
Oh,
times.
that's
He was
funny.
like, "Oh, my bad, I didn't mean that." Yeah, I was just like, I don't know, I was kind of just playing.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
and then did you discover any clubs outside of there? Did you go to the Manhattan Chess Club or?
Yeah. So the Marshall Chess Club is a couple blocks from my house.
That's where you started playing rated tournaments, I'm guessing then.
No, actually, I didn't discover Marshall until I was higher rated.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
Yeah, until I
interesting.
was maybe like 1600.
Oh, that's
Before that,
interesting.
I was playing. They have a lot of like scholastic events
That's
in
great.
the city. They also have it used to be called the Right Move. Now I don't know it might be ICN now or something like that.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So then, when you hit about 1600, for any people that are watching that aren't competitive players, that's kind of the first big tactical leap in your abilities. You get to
Hmm.
1600 and you're able to actually calculate effective tactics and win games
Hmm.
spectacularly. Um,
Yeah.
you started going down to the Marshall Club. Did you win any of those events?
Yeah, I remember. Well, early I would take a beating from like the guys there. There's like the usual crowd,
Yeah.
like the Marshall has like so many repeat, like the same players play over and over again. So I was getting destroyed by Jay Bonin and Michael Rode.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's a like really early learning lesson in how to play,
yeah,
right?
yeah, James West, I remember. Yeah.
I mean, those are guys that have been around in the chess scene for how long?
Yeah, for decades.
Decades, yeah, and
Yeah.
they're incredibly strong. So what did it feel like to play them and even lose to them? Did that frustrate you or did it excite you?
Um, it definitely frustrated me. I was I always like cared a lot about my games.
Yeah,
So I get frustrated when I would lose.
yeah.
And um I think that helped me just because I didn't like losing.
Okay, yeah. As a journalist and
Yeah.
filmmaker, I think it's very interesting what drives people on and what makes them quit. So like,
Yeah.
were there any moments where you thought, well, I'm not good enough, I'm gonna quit, or was it always just like I have to just get better because I want to beat these players?
Um there was like definitely some. I think almost all chess players have like at least one moment where they wanted to quit.
All right, all right.
There were definitely some of those times. Couple maybe like 0 for 4 events.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's pretty tough.
uh, but I I don't think I ever like seriously considered
Okay. So then
quitting. Like I was like, oh, like I'm never gonna play chess again. But I didn't really mean it.
okay. So did you have any coaches along the way there at the Marshall Club?
Yeah, yeah. So first was Oscar,
Okay.
and I had him until I was maybe 1600
Right.
around, and then I had a Grandmaster coach named Georgie Kashishvili.
Okay. Okay. You're the second player who's told me that.
Nico, right?
Nico, yeah. Did you
Yeah,
guys work
I
with him at the same time, or are you?
yeah. I used to. We used to like hang out a lot.
So okay. So you and Nico were both sharing, or I mean, I'm sure there were a lot of players at the club that were students of GM Kashashvili. Um,
Mhm.
what was that like for you guys?
Um, it was a very different experience. Because it's like a completely different style of coaching. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Well, that's getting
you know,
serious, right? Like
yeah,
he's a
yeah.
great grandmaster.
He's a grandmaster,
Yeah.
and he, like 2600 FIDE. He has
Right.
a lot of experience in really strong events. And so that's when I started to take chess more seriously.
Yeah.
I think before I was kind of just like, just playing to play. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
And
Um,
what got you to switch to get Kashashvili? Was it your parents? Was it you like begging them, or I don't know? I'm just curious
yeah,
what
it
made you
was.
switch.
Well, I remember we found the Marshall Chess Club,
Hmm.
and he used to teach group lessons there.
Oh, got it, got it.
Yeah, and I remember thinking they were very interesting, so I wanted to join in. And then once I was in the group lessons,
I'm interested in this little community. Like you met Nico there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
remember meeting Nico?
Yeah, I remember we met when we were both like really, really little. Um, I was probably like 1500. You might have been like 1300 or
Wow,
1400 or something.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. And did you guys have a rivalry at all?
Yeah, it was like it's like friends, but also rivals, I feel like, because we were always both his students, always like around the same rating.
Okay, okay,
Obviously he's a lot younger than me.
right.
So, yeah, but yeah, I think it's always been helpful to have that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that kind of camaraderie important to you in chess?
Yeah, I think it's like one of the big reasons I play. Just for the community of people there.
Okay, I want to ask another question about the Marshall Chess Club. At what point did you
Mhm.
realize like the legacy of playing there,
Um,
or have you?
Probably. Well, I still think I haven't like realized the full legacy of
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
but I remember I think it might have been Magnus. There's someone really strong. I don't remember what GM it was, but they came over to the Marshall to
Oh
do like a
wow,
simul. Uh,
awesome.
and I was like, what? Like,
Why are they coming
why
here?
is this happening? Yeah, I was really confused. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of like the Marshall has like a whole library of historical games,
Mhm.
and you can like actually check them out and read them. Not many people do, but yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Did you check any out?
No.
Yeah, you found most of your games online, is my guess, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
But yeah, some people do. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a borderline of generations. Some generations have read more books, and some generations have studied more online. So, are you saying you're in the latter camp, where you've
Yeah,
learned
for sure.
mostly from online? Um, at what age did you start playing online?
Um, it's a good question. Well, I mean, when I was really young, it was chess.com wasn't even the main thing. It was ICC
Yeah, you're
back when
getting
I
old
was like,
now.
yeah, I know. Dude, like Chess Kid wasn't, I don't even think it existed when I was
No,
young.
no.
Um,
So you
and
actually
I'm
played on
18.
ICC.
Yeah, I played on ICC
Wow. I mean,
when
still
I
players
was,
still do. There's still a lot of players that play on ICC.
yeah, but it's really just chess.com, Lee Chess.
Yeah, those are the main powerhouses right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you think that play really affected your game, or was it more the lessons with Kashashvili?
Definitely the lessons.
Okay,
I was never like a huge online player.
okay,
I'm okay at Blitz. I'm not like great at Blitz. I'm probably better at standard than Blitz.
okay. That's interesting. So you like classical more?
Yeah. No, I like Blitz more. I'm just better at
Just better.
classical.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably would say the same thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. Uh, what do you think is the main reason why you're better at classical than blitz?
Um, I'm just like pretty methodical
Hmm. Hmm.
with my like approach, especially with my calculation and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And Blitz is just a lot of intuition.
right, right.
Um, and even like in games, I rely a lot on like concrete calculation to play my moves, and you
Right.
can't do that. Like you can't spend time thinking about that in Blitz. That's why it's fun. You got to
Yeah.
make moves.
So like in a 5 or 3 minute game, do you find yourself just accidentally calculating too many variations and
Yeah, sometimes.
then
And I mean, it's just like there's a different rhythm to playing Blitz too. Um,
So then,
yeah.
as a more concrete player, do you are you driven by the like truth of the position? What is the exact best move? Does that drive you at all?
Yeah, I mean, I try and find the best move, but I guess I've gotten more practical um as I've kept playing
Right.
because it's not always possible to find the best move. Sometimes you have to find a move that's good enough
Right.
and not spend 45 minutes in a position and then not have enough time to finish the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So it's like chess is it's like a math problem, but it's also like a sport at the same time. You have a limited time frame to play in, and so you can't always find the objectively best one.
That's big insight from an 18-year-old.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's not mine. It's Grandmaster Alex Lenderman.
Is that who you're working with now?
No,
No.
he's just he's a friend of Georgie's. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you had great access to just a wide range of strong players, right?
Yeah, I mean that's like what comes with the Marshall Chess Club. I think it's like it was really lucky that I was born in a city that had all this stuff.
Okay, so let's move on to your training since we got into a little bit about your playing style and everything.
Hmm.
Um, well, first, tell me what your main goals are and then how you're working toward those goals.
Yeah, so I mean my main goal right now is international master.
Okay, great.
Um, yeah,
How
and
hard is
I've
that
been
to achieve?
it's pretty hard. I mean not as hard as Grandmaster,
Right.
but I'd say it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I've been studying a lot. I'm on a gap year right now,
Okay.
before college, and
Right.
so I've been taking this time to, uh, improve my openings, improve my calculation, uh, try and basically improve all aspects of my play. And I've gone up like 100 points this year.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
And when did you achieve the FIDE Master title?
Spice Cup, which I think was
Ooh,
November of 2021.
nice. So you
Yeah.
haven't even been a FIDE Master for a full year yet, and
No.
your rating is shooting up. What's your current rating?
FIDE 23, I think.
Man, that's really great. That's really great.
Hmm.
Um, and so you're saying you're working on all aspects of your game. Is
Yeah.
there anything specific that you're really drilling down on, or you're just trying to become a more overall well-rounded player?
Um, I think maybe the two main things I focus on are my calculation and my openings.
Yeah.
Uh, because positionally I was always like kind of okay.
Yeah.
But those two things I didn't really know any openings at all. Like even when I was like a master.
Right.
Uh, and um, yeah, so I've been working with my current coach, Alex Ostrovsky, I've been working with him for a while, but recently we've been doing a lot of opening study, and yeah,
Oh, yeah. So it's
it's really
Alex
helpful.
Ostrovsky, the Alex that I interviewed. Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
same guy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Um, how do you like working with him?
Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah, we have a good time. And he has really good like opening knowledge and preparation.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like
Are you going to play him in the 1000 GM event?
no,
Oh,
I
okay,
don't
good.
think so. I've played him before,
He's
but
playing in St. Louis, right? Or
he's playing. I think they might both be in LA.
okay, no, he's playing in LA, but you're not going to play him.
No, no.
Okay. Because you're playing an I Am Norm tournament, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, that's interesting.
yeah.
Okay, so then what is his keys for you? You know, if you can synthesize what he's trying to teach you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I really think it boils down to those two things. I think the bulk of what we work on is openings and calculation study. I think honestly that's like very important. Once you get to a certain level, obviously, like before you need to learn everything. But I feel like once you get to like maybe like 2200,
yeah.
it's all about like refining your calculation and yeah, improving your openings. I mean, it could just be for me. I think all
I
players are
think it could be
different.
for all levels, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it gets exponentially harder, right?
Yeah, it gets harder it gets harder to improve as you gain rating.
Yeah, but even
Um,
that calculation, you still have to go one step deeper than your opponent,
yeah,
who's also getting better usually at the same time. I mean, maybe you'll meet
yeah.
older players that are on their decline, but I mean, a lot of the players you're playing right now are super young, and they're
Mhm.
improving rapidly at the same rate you're probably
Yeah,
improving.
it's tough. It's tough.
What does your typical training day look like? Do you study a few hours in the morning, or what does it look like?
um, yeah, so I mean, I don't have the best sleep schedule.
Oh, okay.
So usually I'll study like 10 p.m. to like actually study 10 p.m. to maybe like 12:30.
Okay.
And then from 12:30 to like 3, I'll be like kind of just messing around on chess.com or like,
Just
you
grinding
know,
games.
yeah, just doing like chess adjacent stuff.
Okay, so you're a night owl.
Yeah, I stay up pretty late.
I mean, it's not
Uh,
unique for people your age, but is it more unique in the chess world that I mean, I guess Ferrugia does the same thing. He played all night bullet while he
mhm.
was playing the candidates, but
Yeah. I
uh,
respect that. I respect that.
uh, do you think that is going to affect your play for the morning rounds?
Well, I usually try and change my sleep
Yeah,
schedule
yeah,
during tournaments.
right.
So I'll start like a couple days in
Well,
advance.
here you are early in the morning with me, so.
Exactly. Yeah, I did go to sleep at like 4, but I still got up.
Yeah, this is not as
Uh,
rigorous as a chess game, so.
yeah, I mean, it's not like it's definitely not the best thing to be doing for my chess.
I have an off the wall question. It's just
Yeah,
because it's
what's
fun,
that?
and I've seen this happen before. I saw I am Justice Williams play blitz
Hmm.
all night long at the National Open, and then go draw a GM in the morning.
Yeah.
Have you ever stayed up almost all night and then gone and played a good game of chess?
No, I remember a couple times I've played a bad game of chess.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
that's fair. I appreciate that candor. Uh,
yeah.
okay. Um, all right. So that's great. I mean, I have a good sense of who you are as a player, and
Hmm.
just I think that it's very very interesting that you're going to be playing these tournaments for free and then going for that IM title. I mean, do you have
Yeah.
an estimate on how long that's going to take you?
Well, it's kind of unfortunate because like I've been gaining rating like almost every tournament, but I have to go to college in a month. So
Oh no.
yeah.
Wait.
So
So you graduated early then, didn't you?
well, I'm like young for my
Oh,
grade.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my birthday's in October. So I'm still 2003, which
Okay,
is
that
like
makes
the
sense.
year.
Yeah.
But yeah. Um but yeah, I have to leave for college in a month. So actually, it's kind of poor timing. I mean, obviously, I'm still gonna play in college. I enjoy playing, but
What
it's
college are you
definitely gonna
going
be
to?
harder. I'm going to Harvard.
Wow. You're going to Harvard.
Yeah.
Let's
Thank you.
go. Okay,
Thanks.
what are you
Yeah.
studying there? I think this is interesting as well.
Yeah. So I'm thinking of doing applied math.
Wow.
Um, yeah, theoretical math
So you're
seems a
borderline a
little too hard.
genius. Why
I wouldn't say so.
are you going to join Mensa?
Maybe give it a few years.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, I'm assuming Harvard was your first choice. Is that correct?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
and did you get into Harvard before the gap year, or I'm just curious how it went down.
Yeah, so I applied to college like normally, and then I got in, and then I decided I wanted to take gap year actually to play chess,
Okay.
because I didn't really study a lot in high school, just because I was really like focused on my academics.
Right.
And so I wanted to have a chance to improve and to just take the year off to focus on my playing.
That's awesome. I mean, and you were able to achieve the FM title in that year off.
Yeah,
So you think that time was valuable?
For sure, for sure. Yeah. And I think like honestly, if I had like a couple more months, I could maybe make IM. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't really mind it too much because I know I'm gonna play during college and probably after too.
Right,
So
right,
it's
right.
not like a
Is
huge deal for me.
so I mean, so you are going to a prestigious school, and I mean, you're bringing yourself to a really well-rounded, you know, life in the sense that
Mhm.
you're studying a really good subject, and I'm assuming you're going to I mean, you're young, so you don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to go for masters and PhDs and things like that. Um, is having a balanced life with your chess important to you?
Yeah, for sure. I think like one like living healthy is really important. You know, just having a lot of good friends to talk to, having that academic thing, academics I can turn to because I mean chess is always like my first passion, but it just doesn't make a lot of money,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and it's like very like a practical thing really.
I mean, if
Um,
you could make a full-time living from chess, would you? Would you do it?
yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's just like there's a lot more opportunity in academia.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's understandable. I mean,
yeah,
even the grandmasters can be struggling sometimes to make a living.
yeah.
Um,
I think you basically have to coach if you're not like very strong.
yeah, yeah. Do you coach at all?
I coach a little. I actually taught the after school program for like the elementary school
Oh,
at
great.
Dalton, which is a school in New York.
At
Yeah,
Dalton, okay.
yeah,
Shout out to your students. You wanna shout out
yeah.
any?
Shout out my my first grade and kindergarten students.
Yeah, let's go first grade and kindergarten. Move those pieces. How many of them can get checkmate?
I think all of the first
All
graders,
right, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
most of the kindergartners.
Nice. Let's go. You're
Yeah,
doing a great job, man.
yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
Oh, you're telling me I've been doing it for about 15 years, so
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, that's I appreciate that you give us that insight as well. Um,
yeah,
okay, so let's. I think we could probably go on for another hour here, but I want to move
hmm
on and show one of your best games, and you actually have quite a special game. We've seen some really good games in these interviews, but you have a special game just almost because of the player that you played. So go ahead and share your screen and then give us a background here.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, Let me pull
Yeah.
this up here. So yeah, so uh, can you see?
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so go ahead and give us a background on this game. First,
Yeah,
tell us who you're playing here.
yeah. So I'm playing Levi Rosman
Who is
in this game.
what's his secret name?
Yeah, a small up and coming Twitch streamer, uh, Gotham Chess. But
Gotham Chess. If you don't know who
yeah,
Gotham Chess is, you're living under a rock. I'm just kidding. You're probably just too old. And you don't know YouTube. He is the number one chess streamer and other than Hikaru, on Twitch and YouTube. Maybe Hikaru and Botez are they're all shuffling around in there. Um,
yeah,
oh, let first set the scene of what it's like to just play a famous player like that.
yeah. Well, it's interesting because like he's always getting like random people who are not in the tournament will sometimes show up just to like see his games. They'll like travel to New York. Sometimes I bet some of them are from out of state. And they're always like coming up to him after the games and stuff. So, and he does like the recaps. So your game is gonna get watched by a
Oh
lot of
man!
people. It's some pressure.
So you were aware of that before the game, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's always
I have a
yeah,
random
it's
off
a
the
lot of
wall
pressure.
question. Do they bring signs?
No, 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 no.
Like when they're like Gotham Chess, yeah, and like the TDS to shush them.
Yeah, like a cheerleading
Yeah,
squad.
yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Nah.
that's pretty fun. Okay, so then
Yeah.
um you had good access to his games, I'm guessing, online, right?
Yeah, I mean, he keeps his chess.com account public. I'm sure he has like a private one as well.
Yeah.
Um, but actually, I'm pretty good. Uh, well, Alex is really good friends with Levy, and
Okay.
so I'm kind of friends by proxy. But
Oh,
we
great.
share a lot of the same repertoire,
Oh, that's very
so we
interesting.
use like the same files
Oh,
um
wow.
to study and prepare. Yeah, and so he kind of knows my repertoire
Wow.
and I know his. So it's like
That's
it's
fascinating.
it's interesting, yeah.
I mean, it's very interesting
Um,
playing players that know your repertoire really well.
exactly, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So
so then go ahead and get into it and then kind of give us the moments where you were either out of book or surprised or things like
mhm.
that.
Yeah. So the game starts out pretty standard. I play
You're white and
c4.
he's black, right?
Yeah, I'm white. I kind of expected e5. I knew he might play something more offbeat, but
Hmm.
um, I don't know. E5 is one of the main moves, obviously.
Right,
So
against the English Opening, right?
yeah. And here you can go for like G3. But I like playing with the two knights English.
Right.
So
Okay, great.
we have this opening. And here, the majority of my games go E3 here.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
know he knew this. So I decided to play like it's actually a pretty interesting line with E4 here. It looks a
Yeah.
little goofy, but um yeah, it's a fine opening. And the
Yeah,
idea
and
is bishop c5, knight takes e5.
we're still in well-trod opening territory here for
Obviously, yeah.
1000
So
GMs.
this is like some theory. They
Right.
play h6 here a lot. Yeah, and we get this position where I have like damaged pawns in the middle.
Hmm.
They're hard to attack, and also I have the pair of bishops.
Right.
My idea is mainly probably to go for f4, like castles, knight h4, f4,
Right.
and play on the king side. Um, so he plays knight e7, which is a
Okay,
good move. It's
interesting.
aimed at stopping knight h4,
Right.
right? So he goes to g6, and now there's no knight h4
Hmm.
anymore. And even on f4, he wants to keep his knight here, maybe to go to h4 at some point. Take, knight h4. So it's an interesting
And
idea.
you don't really want to play h4 here because you're giving away the g4 square, right?
No, yeah, and also f4 is my idea,
Your
and
main
so if I
idea.
play h4, I won't play f4 at any
Right.
point,
Right.
right? So I retreat this way, which is pretty common in these lines,
Yeah.
just to remaneuver the knight to c2.
Are you
Um,
still in book here?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kind of playing.
No, awesome,
Uh,
awesome.
yeah.
So then he wasn't ready either, right?
No, no. So here, I mean, there's many moves here. You can go bishop e6, although f4 might be annoying there.
Right.
Um, you could go a6 with the idea of b5. There's rook b8. There's d5 here as well. Try and blow up in the center.
Right.
But
That seems like that
usually it's
benefits
not.
white because they have the bishop
Yeah,
pair.
exactly. We have
Yeah.
the bishop pair, so it might not be the best idea.
Yeah.
He goes for bishop d7, which I thought was an interesting move.
Yeah.
His idea is maybe to play b5 at some point, and also to go queen c8 and bishop h3 to try and trade off one of the bishops.
Yeah.
So I played a4, stopping b5, maybe bishop a3 at some point, although I'm not sure.
Hmm.
He plays queen c8. And here I played not the best move. I played bishop a3, and I thought he would have to either go queen c7 or c5 to defend his pawn on d6. And I thought, okay, queen c7 would mean that his queen c8 move didn't make any sense,
Right.
and c5 would just give up the d5 square and is overall not a very good
Yeah.
move
Now that you're
positionally.
saying that, I see exactly what move without even looking at the notation. But I didn't
Yeah.
consider this at all.
Yeah.
His
And
next
so
move.
here, yeah, he plays a very strong move that I didn't really see at all. And I was a little bit shook from this move, but I'm still better, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's rook d8.
Yeah.
And the idea is after bishop takes d6, he just plays c5.
Oh,
And now
yeah.
my bishop is trapped.
Totally trapped in there. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really
So,
interesting.
yeah. So here I had to switch gears. I switched plans. I played f4.
Yeah. That
He
was your
took
plan anyway.
exactly.
And now
Yeah.
is the bishop slightly misplaced on a3? Is that why it's not?
It is. It is. It's slightly misplaced on a3, which is why it's like kind of a mistake. Right.
See.
The inclusion of rook d8, bishop a3 favors black for sure.
Right.
Although he does have a little trouble playing d5 at some moments because I'll have bishop e7, like f5, knight moves, and then bishop e7.
Yeah. So it's not like optimal computer play, but there's some practical pressure.
It's okay. Yeah. It's not bad.
Yeah.
White should still be better.
Yeah.
He plays bishop h3. Knight h4 was also possible here. But I'll probably play f5, and I'll just leave this here and try and shut out his bishop.
Right.
And then maybe I might even like reroute this way.
Yeah, that makes sense. You'd have time for that.
So he plays bishop h3. And I played queen f3. And now I thought he should go for something like bishop takes g2.
Yeah, that seems just fine. I mean, black is
Yeah.
surviving fine.
Bishop takes g2 and then queen g4. And I thought, okay, it's probably...
Yeah, show that line real quick because I think it's probably interesting.
Yeah. There's bishop g2, queen g2. The computer actually says knight h5 is strong here, which is... And like it gives like a really weird line.
Right,
I thought I had f5
computer
here.
line because most people don't know how important this is for modern chess.
Yeah. So the idea is knight f4, and then when I play here, right, it looks like my knights are kind of misplaced, right? Like knight h3, king g2, knight g5, h4, for instance. This is something that could happen.
Would be really bad for that knight.
But black plays g5 here.
Wow.
Yeah, and after en passant, you have knight g6. I'm not actually sure like the exact move order, but there's like this g5 idea at all. I think actually queen g4 is the move.
And then then he can use the g file in the future too.
Yeah. But it's like
that's wild.
It's just wild. Like I didn't really see that at all.
So in Levy's defense, he's not a computer.
Yeah, I thought this was gonna happen, honestly, and I think I'm better here. Like this endgame always favors me. I like rook b1, I don't know, b6. There's like a ton of them. Like you go knight e3, I could take. But I think I'm always better in these endgames.
Yeah, I mean, just generally, you have the bishop in a position where the pawn on both sides of the board. Theoretically, that's just a slight advantage.
Yeah, and I also have really good central control.
Right.
So
good combination of advantages.
But he plays bishop g4 here, and he played it really fast too, which kind of surprised me. Because I wasn't really sure what the idea was, and now after queen f2, like I feel like my attack is rolling. Like I have f5 at some point, and then h3 trapping the bishop, right? On h5 there, and then I don't know. I thought he was much worse here, so he goes for d5 now.
That up too.
Yeah, so here he lashes out with d5, and I knew this was a bad move. And I knew f5 was the move. And here I messed up. Bishop e7 is winning. Right, for obvious reasons. And the only thing you have to know is knight takes d3. I have queen g3.
Queen g3.
And everything's hanging. The knight's hanging. The rook's hanging. Bishop takes f6. Queen takes g4 is hanging. Right.
That's
everything.
For black. And so
all of the pieces. Yeah.
What do you think happened psychologically that you missed that?
So I saw this, but I was like, oh, I can just go queen g3 right away. And I saw rook e8, which is the best move, d4. Yeah. And I was like, oh, he moved his knight, right? Knight c4 and e5. And I thought, okay, this is even better version because there's like less complications. I'm just winning a piece.
Yeah, how's he gonna save the bishop? But I guess there is a way.
And it is the best way to play unless he plays knight h5 here. And I saw this move. What I didn't see was queen h4. He has g5.
Oh my gosh, the g5 move comes back again.
Exactly. And So
You can't
now
keep the pressure on those pieces.
exactly, I can't keep the pressure on the bishop anymore. And if
Oh
I take on
man,
passant, right,
he can take back with
he just plays knight takes g6.
yeah, because the queen is guarding the g4 bishop.
Yeah.
Wow, and everything's held together. That g4 g5 move. Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice move.
I mean, that's spectacular, really. I mean, that shows how hard modern chess is, especially with those
Yeah.
engines. But even an international master like Levy Rosman, Gotham Chess,
Yeah, exactly.
he can't, he couldn't find it, so he did play knight takes c4.
He played knight c4, and now it's just losing, I think. I think bishop c1 is also important here. I mean, I could play rook f2, right? And I think it's still okay, but it's not, it might get a little difficult to convert here. Obviously, I'm still winning, but I saw something like this, and he triple stacks probably on the e file. And, obviously, I have an extra bishop, but it's not like the easiest position ever.
Right.
So here I played bishop c1.
Yeah,
My knight's kind of, yeah, my knight's hanging, actually. But if he takes, I have bishop g5.
Yeah, there's immediate threats. I see that.
Yeah. And mate is coming. If he takes, it's just checkmate, right? Here in queen h6.
And queen h6, yeah.
Oops. So, but if he goes bishop g6, I have like a ton of different ways to play. My plan was to go bishop h3 and then bishop f5.
Oh,
here,
wow. This is kind of an important line. Wow, wow, wow. You saw that in the game.
Yeah, that was what I was planning to do. But also just simpler bishop takes h6 and then bishop g7,
queen h4.
And then queen h4 and queen h6 h wins.
That's what I thought you were going to say originally.
Yeah. Oops. So he plays king h7. He wants to meet bishop g5 with rook g8.
Okay.
And so let's just bring my knight out. It wasn't defended, so I decided to move it.
Look whose king is weaker, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So much more loose than
he takes, and then he plays bishop e4. So he's kind of trying to do the same idea. Obviously, it's not as good a position to do it in, but he wants to like triple stack on the e file, right? Queen e6 and rook e8. I just played bishop h3, and my idea was on queen d8. I might even have bishop f4 here, and then rerouting the bishop to e5, right? And once I stick my bishop on e5, it's game over. But he makes life easier for me. He plays queen b8, which you can see the eval is +10 now.
Wow.
And it's because I have this move, bishop f4.
Oh, man.
Which doesn't look possible. But if you take with the pawn, there's mate. If you take with the queen, rook takes, right? And if you go queen d8, it's unfortunate, but I just trapped your queen.
Oh, wow. Look at that. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Little geometry happening.
Yeah. So he just resigned here.
Oh, very nice game. I really like that. I mean, honestly, it's 100% worth it to see those G5 themes.
Yeah,
That's not an easy defensive idea, right? That's like a Grandmaster level idea.
Yeah, G5 is hard to find. Yeah.
Wow, great game. Okay, let's wrap up the interview because we're getting a little long here.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and unshare, and we'll switch back side by side and
Gotcha.
close it up. All right. Thank you very much for sharing that game. And maybe just say one more thing about how that game made you feel.
Relieved, I guess. Yeah, I was pretty nervous. Just because, I mean, it's Gotham chess, and like, your game's gonna be put on YouTube and all that. I don't want to really play bad.
Did you watch this video about the game?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Were you sharing it to your friends? Like, look at that, I got that game.
Not really.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just, I was happy with my play. Other than missing bishop e7, that was kind of I missed like that idea of knight h5, g5.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was pretty happy with how I played.
Awesome. Well, let's wrap up, and I want you to Oh, I didn't get to the rapid fire questions.
Oh yeah.
I'll do 3 of them real quick.
All
You got to
right.
get these in.
Okay.
Who's your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man.
Oh, let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Spider-Mans in the house. What is your favorite holiday destination?
Hawaii for sure.
Oh, which
100%.
island? Which island?
Maui.
Oh yeah, let's go. I just went to
Yeah.
Maui in March.
Oh, okay.
Incredible,
All right.
incredible island. I drove over the whole thing.
Yeah.
uh,
That's definitely my favorite.
and who is the most underrated chess player in history? Just like as far as fame or achievement or anything like
That's a
that.
good question. Most underrated. I mean, I think Aronian is really
Oh,
good, but
great
just because
choice.
Magnus exists,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right. He probably could have become
Yeah,
world champion any other time in history.
yeah,
I mean, we could say
yeah.
that for about 5 or 6
I
players.
think, yeah. I mean, he's he's like arguably one of the best, like second best players of all time.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah. Also underrated currently,
Okay.
my coach Alex Ostrovsky.
Let's go. Alex, you hear that?
Alex, you gotta get that rating up.
You got it, Alex.
Yeah.
Rocky knows. All right. Well, I appreciate everything you shared with us today, and good luck in your event coming up. Are you excited for it?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I only have a couple events before college, so
Great.
gotta make them count, right?
Yeah, got to make them count. All right. Well, good luck, and thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.